So there's a small YouTube channel named Ryth, and I made a few videos talking about Ryth by now, or at least a few extra videos that kind of referenced him, and even a side plot where he took a large leading role, and he's kind of more like an anti-hero in that video. So think of that video what you will. But in fact, one of my top videos actually is Ryth on this channel, which thank you so much for the 127,000 of you guys that watched my video. Jeez Louise, I love you all so much. Whether or not you guys hated my video, especially if you hated my video. So many people who disliked it, by the way, there's like a 92-94% like ratio on there, so get screwed over, idiots. But anyways, a lot of people who hated my video actually commented on it, so I thank you guys so much for throwing the video out there and helping it get more reach. Without you guys, it wouldn't have been possible for me to get the 100k plus views, so thank you so much for commenting. Now with that out of the way, it's time to get back to our schedule negativity. I've been pretty lazy for recording recently. I've been kind of tired. And, I just wanted to get a video out today because I'm kind of in the mood again. I'm more back into the swing, and today we have some random guy here. I'm not going to show his video. I'm not going to show his channel. If you're watching this right now, you know who you are. Get f***ed, idiot. You're not getting any views. Do not go visit this guy's channel, by the way. Do not visit any channel that I talk about in my videos because I do not encourage you guys to harass those people whatsoever. And giving those clicks to those people only helps them even more. For example, my Ryth video. So please do not go to their channels and harass those people. This video is not meant to send harassment towards anyone whatsoever. If you guys go out there and harass those people, I disown you. I do not want you guys in my fan base. I do not want to raise a whole bunch of people who like to go and harass other people just because of the random opinion of a stranger on the internet. Everything I say is more like allegations and opinions, and none of it is actually just a fact. This is just me voicing my own opinion. I'm voicing out my free speech. So yeah, here I am. Like a heroin addict, I crave views. Views are like I just inject it straight into my veins, and I love the euphoria that I get from it. I also want all of you Ryth fans, if you're all watching still, to thank this guy for making you all look really stupid. This guy brought up so many horrible points. He only brought up like a few valid ones, and that's about it. And for some reason, whenever I try to comment on their video, or whenever I try to comment on like their replies in my posts, I couldn't really comment, like it would just get deleted. So I would assume that guy like blocked me on YouTube or something like that. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't comment on that guy whatsoever. So here the video is. You're not gonna know who that person is. I just want to bring up a few points that they brought up from the video because your video was so poorly made that even if I could show it, I don't want to because that's how bad it was made. And before we continue, today's video is actually sponsored by one of my friend's bakeries. It's called July Bakery _JL. I'm not really a huge fan of pastries, so I don't really know what they make, and I haven't really ordered from them actually. But they do cook pastries and stuff like that. They make homemade things. A few examples of what they make are like regular tiramisu and matcha tiramisu. If you guys are interested in things like that, then you guys can order from them, like see how it goes. They only go up to the US, like the entire US. If you're outside of the US, then tough luck. But if you're in the US, then, just check out their bakery, see what you like, DM them, ask them what they like, and they'll just tell you what they offer. Usually I would expect them to make cakes, as they say they make cakes on their Instagram page. And yeah, if you're interested in like a few pastries or something like that, just go on Instagram, stop by, ask them, see what they like, and see what they can make, and then after that, just order from them. Yeah, that's about it for the sponsorship. This is just a favor for one of my friends, actually. But yeah, just if you want to take a look at their bakery, give them a follow, DM them, and ask them, hey, what do you make? And then after that, you can just get the prices and stuff from there. So with that being said, let's begin. Now, one of the first points that this person brings up, and I think it is a really valid argument to be making, on the surface at least, is this contradiction of where I don't encourage people to harass people, and yet I'm still telling people to report some of Ryth's videos for being inappropriate, or at least having inappropriate content in them, and also having inappropriate thumbnails. Now, there's nothing wrong with that on its own. Like, it looks pretty bad. It looks like I'm sending hate towards his way and I'm trying to get his channel taken down. But by that logic, then August the Duck has sent harassment towards certain people. So for example, there's this one YouTuber that August the Duck was covering, where basically this person was allegedly abusing animals on YouTube. And ever since then, that video actually did get taken down either by YouTube or by the channel itself. I don't really know. But by the definition that you're going off of, August the Duck has sent harassment towards that one channel because he's encouraging people to report that channel for animal abuse, which that makes no sense at all. Like, am I wrong for encouraging people to use the systems that YouTube has actually put out there? Now, I would understand your argument, and I would actually agree with you if I was just saying, yo, send harassment towards Ryth, report his channel for being bad at making content. Then that makes sense. That would actually make sense, because then I would just be sending people to go report his channel for absolutely nothing. But that's not the case here. The point is that he's making inappropriate thumbnails. He's even reposting the inappropriate content without proper censorization, or whatever that word is, without censoring the bits that are inappropriate. And he's just actively being a hypocrite. And you are saying that I am the bad person for encouraging people to report this to the proper people who can take care of the bad content that is blatantly right there. Now, the second valid point that I can get from the notes that I took on this person's video, one of the examples was, and I shit you not, this is an actual quote, if a lot of pedophiles watched his content, does that mean he makes content for pedophiles? Number one, yes it is. Yes, he is still making content for pedophiles because he is making content for the consumption of pedophiles. He is making content for pedophiles. Number two, let's just say, for example, that I'm somehow wrong in that. Like, I can't even think of an actual counter argument for that. But let's just say I'm wrong there. That example makes literally no sense, because at the end of the day, you're still doing what you're doing knowing that that's your audience. This makes no sense whatsoever, buddy. And number three, you say that he did not intend to send it to kids. Well, at the end of the day, he knows that his audience is kids, and he's still making that type of content for kids. If I knew that there were kids watching my stuff, which I know that there are kids watching my stuff, by the way, I would censor it. And even then, I would still censor, even if, let's just say I don't have a single kid watching my channel. I'm still going to censor it, because on this platform, the type of content that Ryth makes, it does not belong on this platform. So there's no excuse. Number one, that example doesn't even work. Number two, your reasoning is flawed on a fundamental level. And number three, I would still do it anyways out of the moral good of my heart. Another completely stupid point that this person keeps trying to push is the idea that Ryth's content is not intended for kids. So if that's the case, then Chappy Sway is a good person, because his content was not intended for kids. It was intended for an adult and more mature audience, obviously. But if that's the case, why do we all have a problem with Chappy Sway instead of Ryth? And now, I'm not defending Chappy Sway, by the way. This is just an example. But the idea that Chappy Sway is a bad person for doing the exact same, well, not exact same thing. Obviously, Chappy Sway is objectively worse because he's actually putting in the adult content, whereas Ryth actually does provide commentary, and he does try and like condemn that content instead of encouraging it. The idea that Ryth is a good person for doing what is essentially in the same category as Chappy Sway is just such a weird idea to even have in your head. I don't know how you can worship someone to this level, because the worst part about it is that Ryth has a larger audience than Chappy Sway. It is very arguable, and I'm not saying that I'm trying to make the argument, but I'm just saying that because Ryth has a larger audience than Chappy Sway, that makes it okay because he has access to more kids who can see this type of content. And even then, Ryth shows the content on his channel. So that's even worse. The idea that you're trying to say that Ryth is the good person is not a good look for you. Another point that he taps on is how he doubts that Ryth is racist and sexist, even though I literally showed my proof as to why I personally think that he's racist and sexist. Now, let's just say that those points were bad. Sure, those are pretty subjective points, and to be fair, I can concede that, that's fine. But what really pisses me off about that one video, and I just really need to talk about this real quick, They didn't even watch the entire video. I'm not even joking. The way the video was recorded was that this person was on their bed, recording on their phone, talking through their phone, screen recording my entire video, which, by the way, you're showing my entire video. I'm pretty sure that violates copyright to an extent, but that, I don't really know. I can't really say that for sure because I'm not a legal professional, but you didn't even watch the entire video. The video was just you watching the first 10 minutes of it because your screen recorder only allowed you to show like 10 minutes. That was your limit on your phone. That's how pathetic this person's video was. I can't even fathom what is going on through this person's brain right now. This person and Ryth share half a brain cell. I'm not even joking. I don't understand the idea of how you can sit on your bed, record video, and then talk about how, oh, you don't even make any good points. You didn't even watch the entire video. The entire video is like at least more than 15 minutes, but your entire video was like 16 minutes. Okay, so I had to cut that crash out short because I was starting to say things that were actually a little bit pretty mean, so I don't think I want to like really put that on there. But anyways, let's see here. Another point that person actually touches on is how they say, oh, I don't think that he's a furry. That's just straight up raw. And then he goes on this 2-minute monologue about how he thinks I'm wrong that when I said that Ryth was a furry. I know he's not a furry. I've never seen him in a furry costume. I don't think he's wanked off to furries before. I just do that because that's more rage bait. But the way that you spent an entire monologue just talking about how, oh, he said that Ryth is a furry when he's not, ergo this entire video debunked. And I'm just sitting here going like, dude, how can you actually just sit there for so long? Like, I don't even think that was original to an extent. I'm not going to copyright strike this person because this person's video is such a masterpiece that I don't want to take it down. And I think that it is original, so I'm just going to leave it up there anyways. I'm not going to copyright strike you because, number one, this is just a beautiful video that is so bad that it needs to stay up for science to discover in the future. And number two, I just don't have the energy to copyright strike you right now. But anyways, I know he's not a furry. I'm just doing that so that way people can get mad in the comments. But ironically enough, it's making me mad at this person who actually thinks that I believe that Ryth is a furry. Another thing that this person said was, and I quote, "I just don't want any of this stuff to be said." That's a huge tell to me that makes me believe that you are in just complete denial of the things that I'm about to present to you in the video, and you just really don't want me exposing your favorite YouTuber, which that I get. I understand. It's pretty hard to face the truth. Like, for example, when I found out about popular MMOs being an alcoholic, I just kind of sat there in silence for like 10 minutes, put my head on my hands, or put my hands on my head, and I just, I needed to cope for a little bit. That I get. But the idea that, number one, you didn't even watch the video in its entirety, and number two, you just don't want any of the things I'm saying to be said, that just tells me that you're not looking for what I have to say. You're only looking for an excuse as to fight me on the internet, and that is such a loser thing to be doing. Go find something else to do, man. Find another shtick. And another thing that you said was that some of the stuff I said is just wrong, and like that's all you say. You don't elaborate, you don't say anything, you don't build up on that argument, you don't build up on that claim. All you say was some of the things I say is wrong, and that's it. I was already under the impression that you didn't watch the entire video because the whole quote-unquote debunking video is shorter than the video itself, and you don't even have a part 2 to it, by the way. Keep this in mind. This person only watched a part of my video, and that's about it. It was a big part of the video. In fact, it was more than a majority of the video, but you didn't watch the video in its entirety. And you literally don't even show any of the screenshots or any of the proof debunking anything. You just have my video on the screen, and that's about it. And the quality of the video is abysmal too. It's in 360p. And judging from that app you used to record in the video, you again also did it on your phone instead of on a laptop or something like that, which you say you have a laptop or like a computer or a PC of some sort. You could have gone there to make the video, but instead you make this lazy video that doesn't even debunk anything, and you're out here going like, oh yeah, this video has been debunked. You're like a chihuahua barking at a pit bull. It makes no sense at all. Oh my god, I just cringed at that analogy, but you get the idea, like, this is all bark and no bite. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's all I really have to say. Overall, this person is a work of art. This person really is a Picasso of some sorts on how they can manufacture a piece of art as bad as this. It is absolutely amazing, and I am euphoric to be honored to be like the center of this masterpiece. But anyways, yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's all I really got to say. Overall, think before you speak. If you have the opposite opinion of mine, that's completely okay, as long as you explain why I'm wrong. You know, like, this makes no sense at all for you to be saying, you're wrong, Ryth is good, and then you don't even show any evidence. You don't even say any evidence. You don't even make any valid claims. I don't think he even made a claim throughout this video. It was all just this person saying no, and that's about it. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's all I really got to say. I hope you all have a good day, and bye.